Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today as we talk about your relationships, your mental health, and your money. It's the Ramsey Show, where we talk about you all day long. Right in front of you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Alexandria starts off this hour in Columbus, Georgia. Hi, Alexandria. How are you?
Great, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, my husband and I will have a paid off $135,000 in debt on December 15th.
Wow.
So we're
How long did that
excited.
take?
Well, we probably did about 3 or 4 years of Dave-ish.
Uh-huh.
So, and then we really buckled down this last year. We probably got $75,000 of it done just then.
Wow, good for you. Well done.
Yeah. So, wish we wouldn't have done Dave-ish as long as we did.
Proud of you. Cool.
But my question is now, we just found out that my husband has to have $30,000 worth of dental surgery.
Of course he does.
And of course
right
when we got done paying off debt. So we were going to start our emergency fund, but do we pause that and treat this like a debt? He doesn't have to have it tomorrow, probably mid-next year.
What is your household income?
Well, that's also good news. It will go up to $165,000 on December 15th.
Okay. The question is this an emergency, or will it become one by the middle of next year? And if the answer is yes, then it's an emergency fund issue. You're funding baby step 3 now that you're debt free, and you're just going to put an extra $30,000 into baby step 3. Or when baby step 3 is funded, you're going to save up for the non-emergency item as soon as that is done. So you're going to be there by the summer. I have a question, though.
Mm-hmm.
You don't suddenly need $30,000 worth of dental surgery unless you're in a car wreck.
Right. His is a combination of parents that decided he didn't have to go to the dentist once he threw a fit when he was a child, and shoddy dentist work that he had when he was younger. So it's one of those things that we didn't want to face.
So is he hurting?
We're trying to pay off debt. I'm sorry?
Is he hurting in pain?
He is not. We have taken care of those issues.
So this is preventative and cosmetic.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. I've done a lot of work with dentists on the business side of the equation over the years. And there are some very, very, very good ones. As a matter of fact, I endorse several in different cities around America. I completely believe in what they do. But I also know that there is a vast spectrum, shall we say, of care and competency and pricing. And so the chance of me personally doing this, or someone that I'm writing the check for doing this with only one opinion and without becoming a freaking expert on everything involved while I'm doing it, is zero. So you need to get like 3 more opinions, and you all really need to study this, because I think you've been given a narrative by the dentist. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was shoddy work, and he never went because his mom didn't make him behave. And, I didn't go to the dentist a lot when I was a kid. I got all my teeth. So, but it wasn't because my parents didn't make me. We just didn't, we just didn't do that. But, I went some. But, it's not like today you're down there every 20 minutes with your kids. But I'm just going to verify that this is accurate. And once I verify that it's accurate, I'm going to put it somewhere just the other side of the emergency fund if it's not an emergency.
That's if it's cosmetic and he's able to chomp down on that steak Yeah, it goes after the emergency
for
fund.
a long time now.
That's right. Yeah.
So I mean, so when we were going broke, I had zero money and we were in bankruptcy and all this. I had a toothache. Mm-hmm. So I go in the dentist and he says, you need $3,200 worth of work done in the next 90 days or you're going to lose all of your teeth and you're going to be walking around like the abominable snowman, basically, and so basically that thing. And I'm like, dude, I don't have $3,200 and I don't have any credit because I'm in bankruptcy. And so I guess I'm just going to be just change my name to Mr. Abominable, right? And so 2 years later, I went to the dentist again, and just to have a cleaning. And how's everything going? Just fine. And how much work have I done 30 years later that he suggested? Zero.
Yeah.
And doing okay. So I just got a bad guy there. He was trying to make his kid's college payment or something. I don't know what he was doing, but that just said dentists and doctors and lawyers are people too.
There's a spectrum.
A, sometimes they make mistakes. B, sometimes they're not competent. C, sometimes they're crooks. And so I'm always going to double check when it's a lot of money because $3,200 30 years ago was $30,000 today.
Right. That's a lot of money.
And I was so broke. I was just, $3,200? You got to be kidding me. I could buy 2 cars for that, So, no. Yeah. And again, that's not that Dave Ramsey hates dentists, so don't send me that crap on Twitter and doesn't believe in dental care. And oh my God.
Well, some of this sounds like.
Why do we extrapolate from there? But
you wait so long. You bust it. You pay off all this debt. You hit this goal, and you've got this carrot at the end, which is I've got to get this done. Kind of like when you got to go to the bathroom real bad and you're on a long trip, and then you finally pull over and go to the gas station, and then it feels like in that one moment, you could have kept going to Tim up. But that moment, once you're right by the bathroom door. It's coming, right? You got to get there. It feels like I've got to get this thing done. I got to get it done. When we get out of debt, we get out of debt. And it's so easy to jump the gun. You've done all that
and then
work.
all of a sudden there's another thing that's urgent that has been there for 10 years.
For 10 years. I got to go.
That's what I was talking about.
Got to do it. I got to do it.
An urgent thing.
Slow down.
That's what I'm talking about. So, just tap the brakes a little bit. Become wise. Make sure that this is accurate. If it is accurate, I'm not saying don't do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know that many folk that I have ever known that did $30,000 worth of work that I was aware of.
Right.
Now maybe they did and I wasn't aware of it. But
and it can just go from we've been doing this for 30 years. We could save up over the next year and pay for it. To let's just go ahead and get it done. To next thing you know, you've put that on a payment plan.
Oh, no. Now I got cold chills.
It's a zero interest.
No, I couldn't. I wasn't suggesting that. No.
It happens.
No one would do that after they called this show. That would never happen. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Show. This is the Ramsey Show.
If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Paying off debt is smart. Saving and investing is smart. Being generous is even smarter. Merry Christmas. There's one key to winning with money that people overlook sometimes, and that's protecting your finances. We all talk about the offense, but we don't talk enough about the defense, and that's where insurance comes in. There's 10 kinds of insurance coverage you might need, probably do need, most of them based on what your life looks like. And we built a tool to help you figure that out. It's free, and it's called the Coverage Checkup. And it'll tell you which types you need to add, drop, or adjust, and we'll even rank your coverage list by importance. Email it to you, connect you with a Ramsey trusted insurance provider so you can get your plan in place fast. Donald H. wrote in, and I like how he put it. He said, for anyone who has not completed this checkup, do it right now. You never know when something will happen, and you never want to leave your family in a bad situation. It's free. Do the Coverage Checkup. RamseySolutions.com/checkup. Don't let an emergency sneak up on you. That's why we call them emergencies. RamseySolutions.com/checkup. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the magic word, the promo code Ramsey.
All right, today's question comes from Debbie in Oklahoma. Debbie writes, my husband and I are a blended family. His kids live with their mother, and it's been a long, difficult road with them. They both dropped out of college, and one is currently not speaking to us. The other has voluntarily limited her work hours, so she's still struggling financially and doesn't get benefits. Years ago, we set a number in our budget for them, since I received child support for my son that I used exclusively for him. While I'm not against helping them from time to time, I feel like we've passed the time where we need to be regularly budgeting money for grown-ups who don't live with us, especially if they are not in our lives at all. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah, I'd cut this off today.
Completely agree.
Totally, we're done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. #1, I don't give money to people who don't speak to me.
Right.
I mean, just kiss my butt. That's ridiculous. That does not buy you anything. It does not cause anything good to happen. It's just a sign of complete enabling.
Yeah.
Dad's guilt over the
guilt,
former
guilt money
over whatever happened that caused the divorce. He's still playing Disney Dad, and they're 27.
Yep.
And that's just BS.
It's hurting them.
Well, it is. The whole situation. Everybody's just allowed them to continue. They're stunted back when the divorce happened, and they're still living emotionally at about that age.
Yep.
And because no one, especially their mother, his ex, is pushing any buttons. And so, yeah, I mean, I would just say, listen, I love you. If you're hungry, come over. You can have dinner anytime. Just holler at us ahead of time. If we got something on the stove, we'll share it with you. We'll never let you be hungry. And but we're not giving able-bodied adults money. Go get a job.
What do you think about this, Dave? I don't like the idea of, I don't have adult kids yet. I don't like the idea of giving money to adult kids just as a part of a budget.
No.
If adult kid comes and says, hey, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to go to med school,
and
maybe for tuition but just.
No. Your adult kids do not need to be on an allowance.
It's an allowance, yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's the definition of adult.
Yeah.
You're on your own, puppy. So, I mean, it's
I don't like
old hard school dad, you're 18 years old, you're either in college or you get a job and you leave.
That's right.
I mean, one of the two. And by the way, if you're in college, you probably ought to leave. So,
you're going to leave.
That's hardcore. I mean, but there's something developmentally. I've read several articles, and you probably know 1,000 times more about this than I do, about we've got a group of people that, not all of them, not the entire generation, but too large a percentage of a generation who their emotional evolution, their emotional growth was stunted by living in mom's basement.
And I actually think it goes one generation before that. We have a group of adults who are using kids to prop themselves up, and they've created this, right? Like, I need my kid. That's where I get my validation. I didn't get it from my marriage. I didn't get it from work. I didn't get it from society. I got it from my kid. And here you are. You blink and you look up, and they're 25 years old, and you're still sending them an allowance.
Yeah, because there is pain as a parent when they leave.
Yeah.
Because you're no longer... it's part of your identity.
That's it. When your kids become your identity, when their success becomes a validation of you.
Yeah, but I mean, it's healthy that I'm a dad of these are my children.
That's right.
And then when they're still your children, but they're quote grown children,
It's their
which is an
success
oxymoron.
becomes your yeah. When their performance on the t-ball field becomes your validation.
Oh well, that's
right?
always been a problem.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm talking about there's a natural tearing that the parent also experiences when the kid moves out and becomes an adult.
Yeah.
There's like, oh god.
And you've experienced how much easier would it be if I could just throw $500 and they'd stay another month, and then maybe another month, and then you know what I mean?
And but yeah, it's giving a drunk a drink ultimately. Although they're not drinking, they're just emotionally immature.
Right.
They have not evolved.
And now they don't know how to receive.
So they're 27 years old and they're operating on about a 17-year-old emotional level. Is that right? You've seen that data?
Oh gosh, it's just tough to take feedback from a boss who says I want this report done differently, or the first time you have a fight with the person you're dating, it's all over, and it's you know what I mean. There's none of that emotional resilience. Yeah,
and maturity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happens here. So yeah, you need to cut them off. It'll be good for them, is what we're saying.
Yes.
Now, but now, let me change that just a second, because I made a mistake. I said you need to cut them off. Your husband needs to cut his kids off. You don't need to say a stinking word.
Right.
Because you'll be the Wicked Witch of the West. My father married this woman, and after that, they never helped us anymore. No, that's you may get the blame whether you do it or not, but you need to stay way back from this and push him out into the light.
He needs to be a grown-up.
Push him out onto the stage, and he stumbles out there and makes the speech. And you just stand back in the wings and give him a thumbs up.
That's right. That's right.
A thumb in the back. All right. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Hey, we're doing, as we always do, our last live show. We always do best ofs from Christmas to New Year's. Our last live show is always the last day before we go out on Christmas break. And we will be doing that on the 22nd of December. And that show is always a giving show. We take 3 hours and set it aside. 3 one-hour shows, which we do every day, and do it all on giving. So if you have a great giving story or receiving story, maybe you've received generosity or been the person who gave generosity, it's always inspiring to other people. It's not you bragging on yourself or saying how great you are. We need great stories because it tells other people how important this subject is. Go to RamseySolutions.com/ask. Put giving in the subject line. And Kelly will get back to you and arrange for you to be part of the giving show. RamseySolutions.com/ask. Put giving in the subject line.
I was a part of that show last year. That was a blast, man.
That was the first time you were starting to poke around on this stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean I think we've been about August through December there, but that was cool just to hear those stories of the successful giving opportunities. Man, it was just rad. It was cool to see.
It's
inspiring.
Yeah, it is, and because you find the creative ways that people work and God works through people, because it's never cut and dried. It's never a template.
Nope.
It's always some cool twist on something that.
But how fun is it to be creative about how to bless somebody? Now you're using like art and creativity and blessing. I saw one the other day on the internets with a group of people. They do it every year. They get a group of friends together. They all go out and everybody's required at the table to bring a $100 bill on top of their food. And they tip the waitress, and there's about 15 of them, and it's a thing they do as a group of 15 friends go out.
They get $1,500
They get $1,500 tip on whatever their dinner is, and just seeing their face as she got it, like it was just a cool thing. And whatever Fred came up with that idea, genius, right? I just love that idea.
That is about as good as it gets, right there. I love it. So fun, so very fun. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personalities, my co-host on the debt-free stage in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Jim and Mara are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, great. How are you, Dave?
Welcome. Where do y'all live?
We live in Columbiana, Ohio, near Youngstown.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool. Welcome to Nashville. So how much debt have you guys paid off?
It's a whopper. It's $303,000. Or $303,678.
Good for you. And how long did this take?
Took 68 months.
Okay. And your range of income during that time?
We started out at $55,000.
Well, oh yeah. I was just graduating graduate school, and Jim was working, and so.
And now we're at $178,000.
Yep.
Okay. Very nice. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a speech therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And I run the business side of an architecture firm.
Okay. So did you pay off your house, or did you have a crazy student loan?
Crazy student loans.
Crazy student loan.
All right.
Graduate in 5-year degrees.
A biggin.
A big one.
Yeah. How much of that $304,000 was student loan debt?
$289.
$289,000.
Ooh. All speech therapy?
It was pretty even.
Oh,
Yeah.
was it?
And
Each of us.
Yeah, my degree was in architecture, so I actually went to, I did the thing where you go to the best possible school, and it's private, and
You did 4+1?
Yeah, right. Yep.
Yeah.
And it was about 180 for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So as soon as she gets out of school, we get the income way up, then we jump on it with both feet and go.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So how did you guys tie into us? What's your story overall? Tell us your story.
It actually started whenever I was traveling around the country, working for a technology startup. I ended up not actually using my degree in most of my career. And so I read the book, and I actually started with EntreLeadership once I heard you on the radio to apply those principles to the business.
Mm-hmm.
And then we both dove into the Total Money Makeover. And
Yeah, and we were working on it separately starting in 2015, starting to pay our loans off, and we got married in 2018, and so then we've really ramped it up since then to really get it all done and paid for.
Wow, way to go.
combining your income really, really helps. So
Oh, yeah.
anyone
Yeah.
that's listening,
Get
definitely
a
do
nice,
that if you're married.
Nice
Yeah.
big shovel
Yeah.
and just get after it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and we have kind of really been a good team throughout the whole thing, and making sure that we have our bi-monthly budget meetings, and we duel it out sometimes, but we've stuck together the whole time, and that's kind of what's been
That's the
a
big breakthrough.
factor.
Yeah.
Without question.
So
So-
if I asked you how much, go ahead.
I was going to say, you guys make a great salary. Surely there's people where y'all work that look at your cars you're driving and say, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You got the questions, when are you guys buying a house, when are you doing this, why don't you just get a lease, all those things, and so
We're still renters.
yeah, we don't own a house
Wait a
yet.
minute, wait. You're renting and you haven't died yet?
No.
Correct. It's been a miracle every day.
I thought if you rented, you just spontaneously combusted at some point. Because
Yeah.
you can't live like that.
No,
Wow.
it's great.
Yeah.
No maintenance,
That's what you say. I've got a
Yeah,
plumber
I
coming
know.
tomorrow that I'm paying for. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, home ownership is not cheaper.
Yeah.
That's the answer to that question. It is a better investment long haul, but it is not cheaper. So, guys, that's incredible.
Yeah,
So when people ask, how did you do that? What did you do to pay off $304,000 in 68 months? You cleaned up a huge student loan mess. And one of the things you tell them is you said we work together. So what else do you tell them?
I think sacrifice. We, especially like during COVID, I work in healthcare. I was working Saturdays when I could for a little extra pay. Jim was,
I was Uber driving. I was bartending. I was doing everything on top of my full-time job, and those little extra payments that you make, and as you lay out the debts and the baby steps, as you start to see them sort of disappear, even though it was a large principal for both of us, that really helps your momentum. And the sacrifice is definitely the big, and we've had a lot of support from both of our families. I mean, I had to live at home with my parents for like seems forever. It was like 5 or 6 years for me to clean up my mess because of my income with the balance of the student loans that I had.
Nothing feels better than graduating from a really fancy school with a graduate degree in architecture and moving back in with your mom, huh?
Yeah, and that is. And it was hard because we have a lot of incredible friends, but it felt like a lot of people were moving on with their lives and taking these next chapters, and we were sort of trying to. It was hard, and everybody had.
It is hard. And people don't understand. They look at you like you got one eye in your head.
Yeah, but now you're moving with jet fuel. It's going to be a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Have y'all had the paycheck come in when you have no mortgage? I mean, when you've got no student loans, the paycheck comes in and you just look at it and say, "Oh,
it's incredible."
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Look at your.
I mean,
your
to
eyes
see
got
your money.
really wide.
Yeah.
How much money you're going to have saved in 20 minutes is amazing.
I know. Yeah, we already got our emergency fund done. We actually paid it off faster than we thought.
Yeah.
It was this past May. So.
Yeah, a couple months. So it's incredible once you start going how you just pick up more and more momentum. And
congratulations.
You're going to be there in 20 minutes. It's going to be just a complete flip, very, very fast now.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Proud of y'all. You guys are amazing. What a rock star couple.
We couldn't have done without you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you for everything that you're doing.
We didn't pay it. You did.
Well, your show kept us going the whole time. We listened to you all the time.
Thank you. It's our honor if we can walk alongside people like you guys. So, hey, we got a copy of the Baby Steps Millionaires book. It comes out in January, but I know a guy. We're going to get you an early release copy in a few minutes here, and you'll leave with it today. And, of course, the Total Money Makeover book as well for you to give away. Maybe you can get somebody else on this journey. You guys have climbed a really high mountain as the first order of business in your relationship, and that sets you up to be able to climb any mountain, anything that comes in front of you. No obstacle is going to hold you guys back from this point forward. You are really going to be Baby Steps millionaires very, very quickly, and you're going to be in a position to really help and really do anything you want to do from this point forward. So
absolutely. That's our goal.
So proud of you guys. Very, very, very well done. All right, it's Jim and Mara from Youngstown, Ohio area. $304,000 paid off in 68 months. Big butt student loans. $55,000 to $178,000 was the income range during that time. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yeah! Woo! That is how that's done, boys and girls. Oh, man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
303. That's a lot of money.
$289,000 worth of student loan debt, and that's a medical degree. That's a lot of things, and so who this debt-free scream was for someone that is watching right now that thought this couldn't be done.
That's right.
Or for someone that's listening right now that thought this couldn't be done, because that is a mountain.
Yeah.
And they did it.
And I'm looking at a couple who, by all external appearances, still likes each other, and they've rented. They still like each other, and they haven't bought new cars. They still like each other. You know what I mean? So there's
the key was sacrifice. That was their key.
There's all these illusions like, well, our marriage can't make it if we don't do that. That's bullcrap. Yes, you can. If you get committed and you work together, you can.
You can do anything if you're committed and you work together.
So
it's
great,
just stinking amazing. And they're amazing. Well, there's a lot of personal power right there on that stage.
Did you see all the emotion out of an architect?
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Well, there's that. Yeah. But it just illustrates, because someone listening right now has got, $180,000, $210,000 worth of student loan debt, and they're not a doctor or a lawyer, and not a medical doctor or a lawyer, and they're thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to have this forever. It's overwhelming, and they gave up hope. And this particular moment, this particular debt-free scream, this was for you. Whoever you are out there, it was for you. And it means you can do it, by the way. And you should do it. And you should start today. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. This is the Ramsey Show. Matthew is in Boise, Idaho. Hey, Matthew, how are you?
Hi, Mr. Ramsey. Hi, Dr. Deloney. Thank you for taking my call today.
Sure, man. What's up?
So I was in a training accident a few years ago. I'm now a 100% disabled vet, considered homebound. And so kind of a two-parter question. I want to know, how do I live life and build wealth on a fixed income at age 26 versus, usually most people don't have a fixed income until much later. And if I should, due to the crazy market right now of used cars and the fact that I don't really leave my house often, if it's a good idea to sell my car and use it to pay off all the debt I have right now.
Wow. Well, Matthew, thank you for your service. I'm sorry for the pain you've endured. What is the nature of your disability, sir?
In an accident, I broke everything in my legs and my back. So it's a lot of mobile.
You have mobility issues?
Yeah.
Are you in a wheelchair?
No, thank God I can walk. It hurts, but I can walk.
So what is homebound? You've been determined to be homebound. What does that mean? That sounds like a label or a diagnostic of some sort. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's what the Veteran Affairs consider me.
Okay.
I am able to leave the house. Like, I do my grocery shopping. I go see my brother. When my parents come into town and visit, I pick them up from the airport. Okay. So, I do leave my house.
But every step is painful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's tough. So how much is your disability check a month?
They just upped it, so it's going to be $3,730.
Okay. All right. And what was the military all you've ever done?
No, before that, I pretty much worked for Best Buy. Most of my time, I started as a salesman, got into as a supervisor role, and then switched over to logistics. I wanted to go back to school, so I changed back to sales. My store ended up closing, and I had trouble finding a job. And then that's when I was like, well, Army will pay for schooling, so I went and joined the Army.
Now, in your disability package, they will pay for more school, will they not?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I think you've got some additional GI benefits, and that's cool. All right. Now, I'm going to be indelicate because I'm looking for answers. In talking to you, I don't hear any mental issue at all. It sounds like your whole thing is you just were in a horrible bone-crushing accident. Is that correct?
Pretty much. It has really affected me. Like, I do see a counselor every week that I talk to discuss things.
Oh yeah, that was a traumatic event, but you don't have any
but there was no brain injury. There's no brain injury, or there was no. You're not mentally deficient in any way. You're other than the fact that you're just the normal depression from this trauma, right?
As far as we can tell, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So, because that goes to. So here's the thing. I just answer this the way I would answer it if I woke up in your shoes, and I've never been in your shoes, so I don't know how this feels. And to be very blunt with you, I'm a complete wuss. I can't stand a hangnail, and so I can't imagine the pain issues that you're dealing with. And so me giving you advice is ridiculous in a sense, but I'm going to anyway because you called me. So I have been inspired as I've watched people over the 30 years I do what I do, find a way to utilize the good parts of their life to have an awesome life, when they've got these limitations. And you've got this tremendous limitation now. But I'm also talking to a very bright guy. And so if you decided to do some kind of business from home with the computer or with the telephone, the guy I'm talking to could pull that off, I think.
Absolutely.
You could be a world-class computer coder. You could sell stuff on eBay. I don't know what it is. I just think that the guy I'm talking to could do a lot to add to this income, and you might find something where you end up making $200,000 a year and having an awesome financial life in spite of the medical and the pain that you're going to face probably to some degree for the rest of your life, unless some kind of huge breakthroughs occur or something in that field. But that card is dealt, that ship has sailed. So now I'm trying to figure out, with what I have, what can I make? What can I do? What can I be? And maybe you're a world-class author and you just sit and write. Maybe you become known as a poet laureate. I don't know. Pain sometimes opens up those parts of the brain and allows you to do things that other normal humans that don't have superhero powers can do. So I have no idea, but I have met so many people that are in your situation who beyond compensated and became just inordinately successful. And so I would keep your car, and I would start thinking about what my next career is, and I'm going to send you Ken Coleman's career assessment on what it is you can do. And of course you're going to line that up with the physical limitations, but I don't think you're constricted to $3,730 from 26 years old on.
No, I think there's that moment where you're in a dark season. You got to grieve what was and what you're hoping would be. You got to own what happened, and then, man, the sky's really the limit. It's about, are you going to open up the blinds? You're going to let people in? Dave, I'm glad you said to keep the car. I want you to go out and, to the best you can, go be with other people. Whether that means, hey, we're going to meet at such and such, we're all going to grab a drink at some such and such place, get the old guys back together. If you're going to meet new friends, you go to the VA and you be one of those awesome guys who goes back and welcomes new people who are coming to the VA who are experienced accidents, whatever that is. You're going to find some healing in connection, and that's going to help turn some of that light back on that has been snuffed out. You got to get a new mission, and the new mission is, I can. And like Dave said, I don't care what that is. It could be anything. New mission, I got to go back to school. Thank goodness the GI Bill's going to pay for it. I've got to get some more training. I've got to, and I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, and then you'll be the guy that's featured.
Yeah,
on
the magazine
the comeback
covers.
Story.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you'll be that guy.
I'll buy your book. Yeah. You're an awesome guy, man.
You know, when I was on Fox Business 1,000 years ago, when that network first started, we stopped and did a feature on a guy that was doing landscaping for me. And he was like 60 years old at the time, and he jumps out of the landscape truck, jumps up into a bobcat and takes off, and 2 prosthetic legs. And he runs a landscaping company. He's driving a bobcat. I mean, like 30 miles an hour across my yard, you know? And so I'm like, hey, dude, I got to talk to you. What happened? And he was in the railroad and working on the railroad, working on an engine, and a train rolled across and took both his legs.
Wow.
And he was like 20 years old. And now I'm talking to him like 40 years later, and he's running an uber successful landscape company. I mean, you know, multiple employees jumping in and out of stuff. I mean, you know, now he's a different situation than this young man has in terms of this young man's got different limitation than he had. Yeah. But I'm just, people like that, they're just inspiring to me.
Aren't they amazing?
I can't, but you go, wow. And because it just tells you, it takes away, you're going to be the guy that takes away the excuses for people
everybody.
That don't have
all the able-bodied people, man, got
out
of excuses because of people like Matt.
You. Yeah, like you are getting ready to become. That's who I want you to be, and I can see that for you. And so, no, you don't build wealth on 3,730. You build wealth on who you're going to become. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety, is my co-host today. He does the Dr. John Deloney Show, which has millions and millions of listeners on the podcast version of it. And of course, you want to tune into that, where he talks about mental health and about relationships and boundaries. Boundaries might be a good topic this time of year because you get to see your family this time of year. And so there you go, just like that. Hey, you want to talk about your life and your money? That's what we're here for. 888-825-5225. Anthony is with us. Anthony's in Kansas City. Hi, Anthony. How are you?
Hi, great. Thank you, gentlemen, for everything you guys do and for taking my call.
Our pleasure.
I am 49 years old, financially stable, have no debt, have a mortgage, $300,000. My mother recently passed away, left us with a set of annuities, and altogether they're about $400,000 in annuities. You had a caller last week who you recommended taking an actual annuity over time.
No, I didn't.
The lump. Oh, okay. Versus the lump sum.
No, I said take the lump sum versus the annuity over time.
Okay, take the lump sum.
Yeah.
And then do you know if there's a way, or would you recommend taking the lump sum ASAP before any other tax laws take effect?
Yes.
Okay. And then the last question.
Get it out of there. Pay off your house.
Yes, good. And then last question, do you know if there's any way to defer this money to, for example, have it transferred to I have a 2-year-old son, have it transferred to his name instead of my name so I don't have to pay tax on that?
No, there's not. Not to my knowledge. You could check with an estate planning attorney or a tax attorney to get more competent professional advice than I'm giving you. This might be worth what you paid for it here on the radio, brother. But to my knowledge, there's not any way to move that. You've got the inheritance, and there's no inheritance tax on an annuity, but you're the beneficiary of the annuity. That's what was named on it, and so simply cashing it out, it's not going to be subject to tax when you cash it out. Shouldn't be. You should be just a beneficiary, like a life insurance policy, right?
I believe so. And that was my question, but since I'm the beneficiary listed, I'm the one, or my brother and I would be the ones to benefit from that.
You get the money, and then the money goes into your estate, and you own it, and then however you can transfer it from you to someone else, which is what you would have if you got the money as a bonus from your workplace or something. It'd be exactly the same thing. It's just your money. There's no generation skipping of a beneficial interest unless she had named your kid the beneficiary. Instead, she named you the beneficiary on the annuity. So now just take the money straight out, fast as you can get it, pay off your house. And there's no taxes on it. So shouldn't be anyway, unless I'm missing something in the story. So thanks for the call, man. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Elia is with us in Riverside, California. Did I pronounce that right? Is it Elia? Elia?
Elia?
Elia? I'm right here. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Is it Elia or Elia?
It's Elia. I'm sorry.
Elia. I got strike 3. I'm out. Okay, Elia. All right. Cool. How can we help, Elia?
First of all, you're a blessing. Thank you so much. I praise the Lord for you guys. You guys are so amazing.
Thank you.
My question is, I'm going through a divorce. We have an 8 and 5-year-old. We have a home. There's no judge involved in regards to property yet. I have $10,000 cash at home. I have student loan debt of $78,000. I'm not sure whether to put that money into the debt or if I keep it for a rainy day since we're going through a divorce. And my husband now wants to sell the property. I was trying to keep it because my kids are so young. We've moved so many times. They really want to stay. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to let us keep the house, if I'm going to have to buy the house, or just completely move. So my question is, what do I do with that $10,000?
I'm so sorry. It's hard to go through this.
Well, it is, but God is my protector. He's my comforter, and He's going to provide. I just need to make wise choices on my end.
That's a good point. What do you make a year?
Praise the Lord, right now about 70.
Okay. And what is owed on this house?
About 226.
Okay. Which means you can't really afford that house, darling.
Correct. So right now the arrangement we have is that he's paying child support by paying the mortgage, which is $1,800. So he's been paying the mortgage as child support. That was an agreement that we had out of court.
Yeah. That doesn't last. That doesn't last.
I don't know.
You still have to raise the children. So your children are going to be better off being in a stable financial situation than they are being in that house.
Okay.
And that's not what you wanted to hear today. But if I were in your shoes, I would sell the house and I would get an attorney and I would get the divorce papers finalized. Here's the problem, okay? Sometimes folks going through a divorce are trying to be nice and are trying to say, well, we're going to, I'm not going to be unkind. I don't want you to be mean or unkind. But once you determine the marriage is done, once he determines he's done, at that moment in time, a divorce changes a marriage into a business transaction.
Okay.
And this is now about a transaction. It's no longer about feelings. There's a lot of feelings involved.
Okay.
A lot of anger, a lot of hurt, a lot of betrayal, whatever those feelings are, they're all there. But you've got to treat this like a business transaction, and you guys are half-butt doing your business transaction right now. There's no judge involved, and he's doing this, and he's doing that, and maybe he will do this, and maybe he'll make me do this, and all of that sounds like somebody's doing a bad business transaction to me.
Yeah, okay.
And usually it's because somebody doesn't want to call it. You want to play both sides of the fence. I want to be not together. I can't be together. We can't be together for whatever reasons, but I don't want to go through all the way to the end and say this thing is over, and this is over.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Move, get you a conservative property to live in. Your children will be better off. And hold the $10,000 till all of the smoke clears on this and there is a finalized divorce, because you may need it at some point during there. And he needs to pay child support. That's how things work in this world. This is the Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Merry Christmas, America. We're so glad you're with us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you've had it with living paycheck to paycheck, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, well, you can break the cycle. You can take control. You need the right plan, and we'll teach it to you. We've taught tens of millions of people in Financial Peace University. It's actually about 10 million folks have been through the thing, 6 million families or so. And we've shown them how to get out of debt, how to save money, how to be on a budget, how to be outrageously generous, how to become wealthy. The average family pays off $5,300 in debt and saves $2,700 in the first 90 days of the class. That's an $8,000 change in 3 months. It's pretty dramatic. Now, we'll walk you through the plan, but it's up to you to get started. Financial Peace University is available as a Ramsey Plus membership item. And, of course, you also get every dollar, the premium version that connects to your bank as part of that, all of this. Go to RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Maybe you want to gift it to someone for Christmas. RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Matthew's with us in Boston. Hey, Matthew, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for taking my call, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I've got, I guess it's going to be a not necessarily complex question, but I've got about $1.2 million in investment debt. The value is about $2.3 million. And then personally, I've got a mortgage of $925,000. My combined family income is $230,000. I didn't find you until about July of this year. So I've adjusted. I'm technically in between baby step 5 and 6. So
Okay.
I'm trying to find out. I've got some extra cash. I've got about $150,000 in extra cash that I was either going to invest or start to target and pay down my investment mortgages.
Gotcha.
I just don't know which direction to go.
Well, I would begin to clear the mortgages because that's going to lower the risk of the portfolio dramatically. I mean, you got about a 35% equity position, so you got a pretty good equity position. But I like a 100% equity position, and that's what I've got in my real estate and what I recommend. So I mean, you're sitting there with $2 million worth of real estate paid for, plus a paid for $1 million house. You can breathe, man. That's a whole different world. That would be pretty cool. And you're about $2 million away from doing that. So got $150,000 to start the process and $200,000 income. What is your smallest? The 1.2 is how many properties?
3.
3. What's the smallest mortgage?
$253,000.
Okay. All right. There's 2 things I look at when I'm considering doing this if I'm in your shoes. Thing one I look at is I try to work a debt snowball, pay off the smallest to the largest. That's one thing to consider. The second thing I look at is something happens in my 30 years of experience of doing this when your home is paid off. Something happens inside of your soul that's different than paying off your rental. So, there's a bit of a risk management thing in there too. If you had to choose in a horrible situation which property you were going to lose because you couldn't pay the bill, you would choose to lose the rental before you choose to lose your residence.
Absolutely.
And so, for that reason, I generally put the house at the front of the real estate to get paid off. Now, you've got a house that's you almost as much on as you do 4 properties. So That makes it a little more difficult. But if you had a rental, say somebody called me and they said, hey, I owe $200,000 on my house and I owe $180,000 on my rental, I would say, let's get your house knocked out because of risk management. Does that make sense? But so those are the things running through my head while I'm answering your question. The principles that I kind of use as my guidelines. So if I woke up in your shoes, I'd probably pay off the smallest rental ASAP. Use the 150 towards it, and then just take a bunch of your income chunk towards it. And then I'm probably going to just take everything else I can drag off the table. I'm sorry?
The next rental property is, so it's 253, 394.
Yeah.
So if I pay off the 253, then roll it into the 394.
No, I'd pay off the 253, and then I would roll it into your home.
Into my primary.
Yeah, I'd flip. I'm going to knock out that little one just to create some more cash, because that thing will cash flow like a bandit when it's paid off. And then I'm going to do that. I'm trying to create some cash, and then I'm going to put that cash with your great cash, and then I'm going to start chunking on your house. It'll probably take you 3, maybe 4 years to knock your house out, and then you'll flip over and start knocking those rentals out after those other 3 rental debts out after that. Then when all of that is paid for, you're going to have so much cash you're not going to know what to do with. I just sat down with our CFO this morning going over our rental properties because it's time to start planning taxes, and when you don't have any payments on rentals, they make money.
That's a lot of cash.
Yeah, and so you get these things all paid off in the future, then you'll be able to buy another rental with cash pretty quick, and then another rental with cash even faster.
So I'm not there. Why wouldn't you liquidate those rental properties and just pay your house off and square up?
You could.
Okay.
You could.
I'm at this point in, you're $1 million of equity in, right?
I'm reading into this because he didn't even bring that up.
Yep.
And he's I was reading into this that he's pretty emotionally invested into that whole process.
Yeah.
And cleaning it up is an option. Selling them all is probably not something he's going to consider doing.
There you go.
That is something you could do, or you could do a partial of that. You could pick one of the 4 and dump it.
Yep.
Take that equity and accelerate this process, and then go back and replace it later. Or pick one of the 4 the one of the 4 you could pick would either be a peach that had a lot of equity to make it go faster, or you could pick the one you don't like.
Yeah.
Of the 4.
Just
I got one. Winston, Rachel's husband, manages ours, and we were talking about it at breakfast the other morning. He goes, well, if we didn't own such and such an address, we'd never buy it again. And I went, oh, well, that's true. Yeah. We wouldn't, but we've got it, so we're going to keep it. But if we're talking about what we're going to do the next 5 years, he goes, we'll never buy one of those, and he named that street name.
Gotcha.
And you're right. I would never buy that one again. So that'd be the one I would sell if I was trying to accelerate something over on my side. I'm not. I'm just buying whole. But that's, you could liquidate them all and just 100% pay off everything today.
Yeah.
But then you have to start over on the rental.
That's right.
And I'm guessing
he's not going to do that. No.
I'm guessing that Matthew is probably pretty invested emotionally in this whole process. And so, but bringing that up makes me think about selling one of them for sure.
I like the idea of selling one of them, taking the $150,000 cash, and suddenly I'm almost halfway done with my mortgage overnight. And maybe that's too simplistic, and there's mortgages against the other one, so it's not quite that the math's not quite that clean. But you said something that was important. There's something about having a paid off house that just changes everything.
I think
I don't think
when we went broke, I understood the borrower was slave to the lender because they took stuff from me. And I'm worried about the car being repoed. I'd go out in the morning and wonder if it was going to be there, and that kind of stuff going through the bankruptcy. And so that I had a whole new perception on debt after that, and the power it has over you spiritually, emotionally. That was one time I experienced the weight and the truth of that scripture. The second time was when I was 100% debt free after I paid off the house and everything is done. And you do walk out in the backyard with no shoes and the grass feels different under your feet and something snaps. There's a peace button inside of you that flips.
So do you know how many Americans are a percentage of homeowners have a mortgage?
About half, oddly enough.
Wow, I thought it'd be way higher than that.
I did too.
Okay.
And I just got fresh numbers the other day. About half are paid off.
So one of my core tenets, one of my core beliefs about psychology is you can't be mentally well if you are not in control of your tomorrow. And it hit me, I've been here almost 2 years now. wait a minute, if you owe somebody money, you cannot be psychologically well because a part of your brain knows we're not in control of tomorrow.
And if you don't believe me, just walk through a pandemic.
Wow.
You find out you're not the third pig in the brick house. You're the one in the sticks in the hay house.
You pay that mortgage off and you can breathe.
Yeah, it's a different thing. It's a worthy goal. This is the Ramsey Show.
If you're ready to get out there and find a job you love, then you need to hear this. Job hunting can be stressful and time-consuming, but my friends at ZipRecruiter have made the whole job search way easier. ZipRecruiter is rated the #1 job site in the U.S. by G2, and it's free. So how does it work? First, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Then create a free profile and let their technology do the hard work by finding and sending you jobs that are a great fit. And get this, ZipRecruiter pitches your profile to companies whose jobs match your skills and experience. If someone from that company likes your profile, they can personally invite you to apply for the job. So if you're ready for an easier job search, check out ZipRecruiter. Sign up for free right now at ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Sign up today, absolutely free, and let ZipRecruiter work for you.
In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Andrew and Jane are with us. Hey guys, how are you?
Hey Dave, we're excited to tell our story for God's glory.
Well, there you go. I love it, man. Welcome, you guys. Where do y'all live?
We live in Des Moines, Iowa.
Very cool. How much have you paid off?
Over $824,000.
Holy! What? Wow. How long did this take?
It took us 2 years and 7 months.
That's amazing. Okay. And your range of income during this time?
$101K to $291K.
Wow. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a CPA.
And I'm a pharmacist.
Okay. So $824,000. Did you pay off your house?
We actually sold 2 houses, so yes, in a way.
Okay, all right. So there's a lot to the story. Okay, good. I mean, there's maybe a pharmacy degree in there or something else, but okay. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. Okay, very cool. So tell me the story. 2 years and 7 months, and you sold some stuff. What did you sell and how much, and why did all this start?
Sure. So we had 2 properties in Florida, and we decided that it was a great opportunity to sell those properties at the peak in Florida. And those properties were worth $425,000. So that was part of it. And then we had her student loans. And then I had everything. I had credit cards, business loans, personal loans, car loans. I had the rest of it. So it was a big mess, mostly on my part.
So the houses sold for $425,000 total?
Yes, and we took those proceeds, which was about, $150K, and we put that towards our debt, which moved us from baby step 2 to baby step 5.
Okay, wow. I mean, the mortgage was $425,000 or the sale price?
The mortgages were $425,000.
Okay, did you have some other cash you threw at this as well, or some other investments?
We had profited
yes.
when we sold the properties, and then the rest was just
work.
Our income,
yes.
Throwing everything at it.
Okay. Wow, that's impressive, guys. Very, very cool.
Wow, it's like almost y'all didn't eat for the last few years.
Pretty much.
Definitely a lot of beans and rice.
Yeah, but now you've got an incredible income. You moved from Florida, and now you live in Des Moines.
Uh-huh.
And both of you picked up your careers there and went.
Yes, sir.
All right, very cool. So what made you guys get so intense to do all this?
Well, we first actually heard about you, Dave, 3 years ago, a little over 3 years, when we had premarital counseling for the first time. Our pastor had brought up your program at Community Bible Baptist Church, and we were really interested in starting our marriage off in the right foot. And so we got married, and that's when we signed up for FPU and started on baby step 1.
All right. Very good, you guys. Wow.
How did that feel when you looked at baby step 1 and you added up all your debts and you thought, wow, if we stretch, we can hit $1 million owed?
It was definitely a long journey, that first step. I mean, didn't seem like we'd ever get there, really, honestly.
Wow. But then the idea comes into your brain to sell everything and make a big move.
That came later. First, we sold her car, and I became her personal chauffeur.
Okay.
So that was step 1. And really from there, I was running a business that was failing. I was living on lines of credit. And really what happened, we went through FPU, and I decided I need to get a shovel. So I got a full-time job as a recruiter. And then a few months later, I actually called you, Dave, and you walked me through the steps of what I needed to do to get out of my situation. And I was actually contemplating bankruptcy because I had so much debt, and I had friends and family that said, hey, maybe you should just declare bankruptcy. That'd be the easy way out. And you walked me through it, Dave. You said, you know what? You have a decent shovel, and you can get out of this. And you said 2 years, you'll get out of debt. And here we are today.
2 years and 7 months later.
Yeah. So so I owe you a big thank you, Dave.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Well, you did it, man. You took on the mantle and went after it.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Very cool, you guys. A lot going on here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot going on here. Career changes, redefining who you are, getting married, moving, selling houses. I mean, this is no small debt-free scream.
No. We definitely had some enlightened arguments about our finances.
Enlightened arguments. Wow.
That isn't what we call them in hillbilly land.
No, we call them fist fights, but it's cool.
Knock down, drag out, yeah. Enlightened argument. Oh, my. That's beautiful. It's a great phrase. All right, you have had incredible success and incredible span of transformation. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
I would say for me, I read Proverbs every day after listening to your show for so long, and you have to put in the work. And my favorite proverb is Proverbs 28:19, which said, "Those who are willing to work their land will have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies will have their fill of poverty." And I was living in a fantasy world, trying to run a business, and that didn't work. And I said, you know what, I have to get to work, and that's what really worked for me.
Wow, old-fashioned. Yeah. Let's work.
Yeah.
Not get rich quick. Let's just work.
Get it done.
Yeah.
So do you have the other major changes coming along?
So a lot has happened, and as Andrea has mentioned, we propelled from baby step 2 to baby step 5, which is saving for a kid's college fund, because we're expecting our firstborn next spring.
Yeah!
2022.
Congratulations! That's awesome.
Yes. And if you don't mind, we don't know, but we would love everyone on air to know the baby's gender.
Ah, okay. You don't know.
You're
going to find out too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
okay, let's check the envelope.
Yes.
Here it comes. Oh, this is cool.
Go Team Girl.
All right. You ready?
Sure. We're
it's
having
a girl. She wins.
Go Team Girl.
Team Pink.
She called it. She called it.
Yeah.
She might have peaked. Maybe she didn't.
Wow. Way to go.
Congratulations. Wow. So your mom and dad just found out too.
Yes.
Right now, watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Everyone knows now.
How many grandkids have your mom and dad got?
This is our first, and their first.
Oh,
this is first. Yeah.
It happens all right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, we've had engagements here, but I never had a baby reveal here.
I know. And look at them. They're not crying. They're getting close, but they're holding it together. That's fantastic.
A little girl.
Trust me, after 3 years, it's been a journey to get here. And we just want to praise God. It's not us. It's really God that brought us here today.
Yeah. You've worked your tail ends off, and you've worked a system, and you've been very, very intentional. You were not living a fantasy. You were playing grown-up instead of waiting on someone else to fix your life.
Yes.
Pretty stinking incredible, man.
And this little baby girl won't know any of that. Because y'all put the work in.
That's it.
Yes.
She's going to have
coming into a completely different world.
Different life because of the work y'all put in.
Changed your family tree, man.
Wow. Definitely.
She won't even know. She won't even know.
Well, we've got this on video, so she'll have this to look at later. You can play this at a rehearsal dinner.
That's right.
Will do.
Oh, that's so fun. Well, congratulations, you guys. We're so proud of you. Who were your biggest cheerleaders outside the two of you? Because you went through a lot.
So we went through FPU. We eventually led a class. So got to give a shout out to our supporters, our co-facilitators, Alina and Trent Hall, as well as my best friend Jan, who purchased FPU 6 months after we did.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
And just for me, I mean, she was my biggest cheerleader. When similar to the story before us, I was driving Uber Eats, DoorDash. And again, if you want to get out of debt, she was with me in the trenches. Our Friday and Saturday night date nights, she was riding with me, ride or die.
Wow.
Uber Eats, DoorDash, she was with me Friday and Saturday nights.
That is an HOT date right there.
Yeah. So if you want to spend 3 or 4 hours on a Friday or Saturday night, she was with me every weekend.
Wow.
Putting the work in.
I love it.
So
well, you guys are incredible. You've got an incredibly bright future. We're so proud of you, heroes. Very well done. Wow. Wow. And baby girl on the way. Hey, we got a copy of the new book, Baby Steps Millionaires, for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure. You're going to be there in 20 minutes the way you're going. And a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away and bless someone. You guys have been a blessing to us today. Very inspiring. Thank you. Andrew and Jane, Des Moines, Iowa. $824,000 paid off in 2 years, 7 months, making 101 to 291. Sold everything, loaded up the truck, and moved to Des Moines. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! Baby girls on the way. Baby girls. Girl power. You gotta love it. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Frank is in Denver. Hey, Frank, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Thanks for taking my call. So I recently got debt-free maybe a couple of months ago. Don't have any student loans. Don't really have anything. I have about a year's worth of expenses saved up. And I just got some bad news that I have to pretty much rebuild the entire front suspension of my car, and it's going to be about $3,500 to do it. And I mean, the car's only worth about $2,000, so I don't really, think that's a feasible move. But I also don't want to, get an auto loan or anything like that. And I'm just trying to figure out, should I trying to find a car, under $10,000? But it's just it's hard out. I mean, it's hard finding them, especially something with all-wheel drive. So I just need a little bit of a guidance.
Okay. How much do you have in savings?
It's about, off the top of my head, I know it's like over $50,000 in savings.
Okay. And what do you make a year?
About $100,000.
Good for you. Okay. So, you're thinking about spending $10,000 on a car, and your car was $2,000 car, but now needs $3,000 worth of work, so it'll sell for $500 to $1,000 salvage, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Probably less than about $1,000.
Yeah.
Salvage.
Okay. All right, and so you got that $1,000, and then you've got $50,000. Because 3 to 6 months of expenses is enough for an emergency fund, and you have a year's worth. So that leaves you some money to do other things with, including purchase a car, and you're talking about buying a $10,000 car, right?
Yeah, I don't want to go over $10,000.
And you just write a check for it. You have the money.
Yeah. Well, it's just hard. I'm trying to find a car about $10,000 with that has all-wheel drive, and that's somewhat reliable. I mean, I really only go to point A to point B, and I haven't found one in the area that I'm at, and I've kind of been looking for the last week.
Well, I mean, you're just going to have to look and find a car, dude. But, I mean, we really can't put the premise forth that there are no $10,000 reliable all-wheel drive cars. We do know that those exist, and it's an unreasonable premise to say that doesn't exist. It does exist.
And you may have to buy one with a couple 100,000 miles on it.
Keep in mind, Frank, you've been driving a $2,000 car. Yeah. You're moving up 5X.
Right.
So I don't know how all of a sudden a $10,000 car is not reliable when you've been running around in this hoopty and making it just fine until the front end decided to drop out of the stupid thing.
Make it a priority. Sit down and find it.
I've had it for like 7 years, so I've done all the maintenance on it. So I know all the, pretty much every nook and cranny of the vehicle. So that's kind of one of the reasons why, when if you buy a used vehicle, it's at $10,000 and you don't know the maintenance.
Well, if you've done all the maintenance to keep this hoopty running for all these years,
you know what you're doing.
You know how to look at a car and figure out if you're buying something that's destroyed or a lemon or something. I mean, you're looking at the miles. You go pay to have the oil changed. You can even go to one of the places have the oil analyzed until see how much shavings is laying down there in that oil pan. And you can do a little bit of research on that particular type of vehicle with that particular engine and find out the reliability of it. But there's lots of good $10,000 cars out there that are all-wheel drive, and the car market in general is wicked crazy, like a lot of markets right now. It's not a great time to buy a car. So it's not exactly like there's so there's a shortage and prices are being marked up. That's a reality. But the fact does remain that with a little bit of work, you're going to be able to find you a car. Now, I will tell you this: before you go and overspend or rationalize or become emotional and do something really stupid like take out a car payment because you can't find something, just go rent a car and rent it for 2 weeks and spend a little bit of your money to give yourself some patience. If you're stranded, just go rent you a car, and that keeps you from feeling forced into a stupid idea. And and you don't have to rent something super expensive. Just rent something that'll get you back and forth for right now and let you calm down and think, okay, the pressure's off because I'm not riding the bus anymore. And while the other car sits over there, if it's completely laid down, and it sounds like it is, maybe it's still drivable. I don't know if it's still drivable. Just drive your old one for a little bit and just be careful because the front end ain't much left of it. So
I heard a little bit of grief in there, Dave, listening to him describe his old car.
He wants something. He knows that car.
He's talking about like an old girlfriend. Like I knew her and I loved her. Time for her to go, man. Gotta let her go. There's some grief in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've been friends a long time.
7 years.
Alex is with us in Montana. Hi, Alex. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks for taking my call, Dave and John.
Sure, what's up?
Question for you about a bachelorette party.
Hey, you asked the right two guys.
We both are absolute experts on bachelorette parties. Yeah.
I can't wait for this.
Great. Hopefully you can help.
For sure.
I am the maid of honor for my good friend, and she's thinking of inviting quite a few girls to her party. And looking at some B&Bs, price range is like $1,500 to $2,000 for the weekend. So just wondering, I don't want to front money. I don't want to be the one to reserve it unless I have, some payments up front. But I don't really know how to tell her that or suggest maybe she wants to put her card down. I'm just looking for some guidance on what I should say.
I think guidance number one I'll give you is 2 words: pedal tavern. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you want to get an Airbnb and make it some nice, fancy weekend.
John.
Yeah.
You can't take this guy anywhere.
All right. No pedal tavern.
No pedal taverns, John. You might be a redneck if your bachelorette party is on a pedal tavern.
Or you might live in Nashville.
John, or you might have come to Nashville. That's right. Those things are a blight on our city. All right. So, wow. $1,500. What do you make a year?
About 80.
Okay.
My husband makes probably 55, and we're just working on paying off our house. But he's more like, we do not need to be.
Hey, you know what, Alex? If I'm you, I'm jumping right in the middle of this and gonna be just clean and clear and direct. And honestly, I'm rather emotion-free. Get the list of the names and send them out and say, "Hey, I'm gonna make this thing. I need everybody's money by this date. Otherwise, I'm not gonna put it forward." And Venmo me the money, and we'll call it good. I mean, I would be that clear about it.
Right. But in terms of I haven't talked to her about it, so do I just say I'm?
If you're responsible for throwing the party and for putting the money up front, you don't even need to talk to her. You need to have the list and you send it out like John said. Now, you're not asking Mr. and Miss Manners here because we don't have any manners. We're just telling you how to get the money.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think be real clear with her. And here's the deal: you're an adult, and you got to have adult boundaries. And if you're not going to, here's what's going to happen. You're going to end up putting this on your own. You're going to pay for it. Some people aren't going to pay you back, and you're going to get mad at her because you didn't have boundaries. Don't do that. Have all your boundaries up front and say, if you have to have that conversation, do it. I don't think you have to, like Dave said. I don't think you got to call her and say, I'm not putting this money. I'm like, no, just say, give me the list of the names.
How long have you known the bride?
For a while, probably, I don't know, over 15 years.
50?
15.
Oh, okay.
15.
Okay. I was thinking the Paddle Tavern definitely ain't working.
Okay. I will pay for that one.
Okay, so here's the thing. I mean, and your relationship stems, when did your childhood friends or what?
Yeah, probably middle school and 9.
Yeah. So if I'm in your shoes and I have a household income of $120,000, if I get half the money, I'll put the other half in and I'm gonna call it a day.
$1,000.
I love this lady. She's my best friend since childhood. I'm in her wedding. I'm maid of honor, and you do the best you can to collect it, and you release this, and be chill about it. But yeah, you do get a list of names and say, here's how you Venmo it, and I expect you to pay your part, and there it is, and be nice and kind and clear. And you don't really have to ask the bride's permission to do that. You're the one paying for it. That's nothing to do with etiquette or manners. We don't know that. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. You jump in, we'll talk about your life and your money. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. He is author of the book Redefining Anxiety, and it's on sale right now at RamseySolutions.com for $10. You can also listen to him on the Dr. John Deloney Show. Millions do. Lots of questions come in and great answers, lots of wisdom around mental health, around relationships and boundaries. So we'll be talking about that this hour, as well as your money. Don is with us. Don's going to start this hour in Binghamton, New York. Hey, Don, how are you?
Good, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I am trying to change the future of the next generation. One of those guys that got debt-free, mortgages paid. We own 4 acres of land. We're currently living in a double wide, but we're changing that into a stick-built house come next summer.
Good.
My wife and I are both in our 60s. We're building a small empty nester house. Now, we have 4 grandchildren we want to leave this property and house to, but they're never going. They might be 20 by the time we pass, and we want to be able to leave it to them, but it's going to have to take care of itself as far as taxes and everything until they inherit it. Any help there? Any ideas how to make that happen? I'm putting my money in the stock market. I've got $40,000 in there now. Just started investing less than a year ago. I got $40,000 in there. I got $6,000 in a money market. That's my emergency fund. And thanks for mentioning that too, because that thing saved me here a short while ago, and the wife went in the hospital for about a week, and I had to dip into that thing and pay that bill because I don't like to have debt. Somebody taught me that.
Yeah. How old are you guys, Don?
I'm 63. My wife is 60.
How old is the oldest grandchild?
8.
Okay.
They go from 4 to 8.
Yeah, the same bunch I got. I'm 61. My oldest is 8. So there you go. Well, you're a good man, and you have a wonderful heart to leave a legacy. And property is there's something emotional about leaving real estate in your legacy.
Yeah, I want to leave a family treasure, so to speak, something they can keep in the future. And another thing we're doing for that house is we have about 2 acres of trees out here, and the ash trees, is dying. It's being eaten up by a bug. So we're taking all of our ash trees and having them cut down. The Amish guy's coming in tomorrow to do it. And we're going to have the ash trees taken down, sawn into lumber for flooring to put in the house. And one red oak tree out there we're going to have cut down and made into a door for the front of the house. And so it's something they can look back at and say, Grandma and Grandpa left this for us. We want to be able to say that. Yeah. We want to be able to leave this to them and somehow or another have the taxes and everything taken care of until they can take it over.
So you've got such a big heart about this. Your big heart and your vision and your dream is colliding with the practical aspects of doing this deal. And so having owned a bunch of real estate and fooled with it most of my life, I wouldn't put the burden of managing a rental property that I used to live in if I died on a friend or a relative as the trustee. You could leave the property into a trust for the minor kids and have someone manage the property, be the property manager for all this time. I wouldn't put someone through that for this. I just wouldn't. I would just, if you were to die tomorrow, both of you, I would just tell them to sell the thing and divvy the money up into trust, into the kids' names to take care of them. Now, what I would do is once if you live until they're grown and you want to leave it to them directly after they're grown, 20, 21, whatever, then I would change my will to leave the property to them at that point, and let them have the benefit of that. But this is not a family farm. It's not hundreds of acres. It's been in the family for 8 generations. It's a place that you are building on at 60-something years old right now. So it hasn't got a huge history, but you got a lot of heart in it. I can hear it the way you're talking about it. So I personally, then what I would do is what I do with mine now and what you already do with yours. I'd walk the property with them. Teach that 8-year-old right now that you use those ash trees for that. The Amish guys are coming in. They're going to help us. They're wonderful craftsmen. They're going to help us get these flooring in out of this. And this door here is going to be from that. And let that 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old walk that property. Let him hear the stories from his grandpa's mouth. And then he'll replicate that in his life somewhere someday. If you die before he's old enough for you to leave it to him. But I wouldn't leave that on someone and let it be a mess for 10 years. Right. That somebody has to screw with. Personally, I don't know. What are you hearing, John?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you leave it to their parents? Is there something that you're concerned about the way their parents would manage it?
You're pretty observant. Their parents won't speak to us. We're not allowed to see our grandchildren. We haven't seen them
Oh.
There we go. Yeah.
4 years now. We haven't seen them in 4 years. We're just hoping that we live long enough that they get old enough and they can make their own minds up and come see us and we can explain it to them.
And you create them a special place. Yeah, that's...
I'm so sorry.
I do have a friend that's quite wealthy, very, very, very wealthy, I should say, and I've considered this is an idea. Tell me yes or no. We're working at. Leave it to him, and if I have, we got, like I say, the stocks going, and trying to keep a savings in the money market. And if I leave enough money for him to maintain the taxes and stuff, he agreed to it. Would that be an idea?
It would be, but again, I think it's a burden that's part of you have this dream in your mind of the kids all walking the fields with you, and they've come back, and this whole thing is reconciled, and all is forgiven.
This home is a reconnected family.
Yeah, and until that happens, I would have my will that the property is sold and the money goes into trust for them that's available to them when they're 25. But once there's reconnection, then you can consider changing that. But I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Now I understand why I was hearing so much heart in it, though. This is The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
So when you think of a millionaire, what kind of a job do you picture them having? Some kind of high-powered executive position like a VP or a CEO? Well, here's the thing. Only about 15% of millionaires actually have that kind of job. The reality is the top 5 careers for millionaires in America are engineer, accountant, teacher, manager, and attorney. And that's one of the many surprising things our team found when we conducted the largest study of millionaires ever done in North America. We studied in depth over 10,000 millionaires and how they got there. Our study also made it clear that to become a millionaire, you've got to invest wisely and steadily. 78% of the millionaires that we talked to had a financial advisor in their corner, a trustworthy financial advisor. Now, we have trustworthy, vetted investing pros from all over the country that we have vetted, and they go along with the stuff we teach. They're called SmartVestor Pros. They don't work for us. They're our investment advisors. We're not in that business, but we refer you to them. And to get in touch with a SmartVestor Pro in your area, just go to RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor. You can sit down with them, get your kids' college fund going, get everything going over the details of everything, and you'll know what to do to get your rollover of your old 401k, whatever it is. RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor. Ben is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Ben. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and John. I appreciate the time and appreciate all you guys do.
Sure.
Thanks so much.
What's up?
So my lovely wife and I, we are saving to build a home and purchase some land. And through conversations we've had with realtors and builders, they recommended that we buy the land first just to curb the increase in land prices in this crazy time. So the question that we have is we're trying to save aggressively to do that, but knowing that we will probably purchase land before we actually build the home, that extra money that we're saving, should we be paying down our mortgage, or should we just be saving all of this extra money in a savings account?
You're going to buy the land long before you sell the home you live in?
I don't know how long. The goal is to start building a home in about 3 years. So it's whenever a deal comes with the right property and the right amount of land.
I would just save up the money and buy the land.
Okay, so save it all in a savings account?
Yeah, and then just buy the land. Because the logistics of what you're lining up, the dominoes are too far apart to knock the other one down. In other words, you might buy this land sooner rather than later, and then it might be another year and a half, 2 years before you even break ground, is what you're telling me.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, and if that's the case, you don't have a place to live because you got to sell the house to get the money out to buy the land, and I'm not going to tell you to borrow money to buy the land.
Right, and that's definitely not our plan either.
Right, and so if you put it all into your house, the only way to get the land would be to sell your house and move into an apartment.
Yeah, which we've done before, and with now I have 3 going on 4 kids. We don't want to do again.
Yeah, that sounds less than fun. So yeah, I think you just save up, pay cash. It's a break even. You're going to end up at the end of the story with your house sold, and all the money that you would have had in your house or had in the land is all going to be in the new house anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So at the end of the story, it's all going to be piled over on that one pile anyway. So you're still going to get there, and you're not going to add any debt in the process. And so, until you actually do the construction loan and that kind of stuff, if you do a construction loan. So yeah, I think your advice is good that you've been getting. I would just save and pay cash and buy the land. How many acres have you got?
Almost 7.
Okay, man, that's nice.
6, yeah. It's good.
That's very nice.
It's good.
A little wiggle room is a good thing. Owen is with us. Owen is in Grand Rapids. How are you, Owen?
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So just a quick question. I'm having a bit of a little issue here. I'm 20 years old. I'm in college. I'm currently studying aerospace engineering, and I'm not really sure if I want to continue or drop out and go into the trades, considering I'm about $51,000 in debt at the moment, and I'm just really not enjoying it.
What is it you're not enjoying?
Well, I just do not like the classes I'm taking at all, and I really just want to start working and building up income as soon as possible, since I'm a broke college kid basically.
What about the classes do you not like? You don't like the math? It's not aerospace wasn't what you thought it was? Or are you just like millions of college students just exhausted?
I'm very stressed and exhausted all the time, and I'm not a fan of math, and I'm learning that now. And I'd rather do. I know I like aviation, so I will. If I did do something like the trades, I'd want to go into probably aviation mechanic. So I'm just not sure what direction I should go at this point.
What year are you in school?
I'm a junior. But I am doing a 5-year program, so I still have about half to go. And it's making my stomach hurt thinking about, another $50K in debt.
Okay, that's a different subject than my stomach is hurting because I don't like math.
Yeah.
Yeah. What school are you in?
Western Michigan.
Okay. Not that expensive. You can work and not go $50K in debt.
Yeah. The problem with that is I don't really have time to have a full-time job at the moment. I do work on the weekends when I can, and that's been going fine. But
yes, you do. You have more time to work than you've been working, because you don't need to go 50 grand in debt to finish. You can work your way through Western Michigan.
Right.
That's possible mathematically. You have that much time.
There's something else going on here, dude. Are you okay?
What do you mean?
Like I'm hearing from my colleagues, my former colleagues from all over the country, that college students are reaching a mental health breaking point. that they're exhausted?
I mean, I'm fine.
You're okay?
There definitely is. Yeah, I'm honestly fine. There definitely is. College is a lot different now after COVID.
That's what I mean.
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
So I think
all
we've all
work
been
and no
struggling
play
with that
now.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that
I care too much about the play, but
yeah, you've dug yourself a $50,000 hole, and what I've seen time and time again is students leave. And man, making minimum wage is hard to pay that $50,000 off.
Yeah.
You'd have to be committed to a short-term program that you paid for with cash and not go into any more debt, and then have to have a really high ROI on it, man. You don't want to get out.
Which is, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Have you thought about changing your major to something you like more?
Yeah, I have. Although trades would be a lot cheaper, so I have thought about that though. I've not ruled that out.
Okay, the language that you're using to discuss all of this sounds to me, I'm hearing that you're not running to the trades, you're running from college. The trades is an escape, is the way you keep describing it. It's not like, oh man, I'm so passionate about that, I want to go do that, I've always wanted to do that, and going to college was a complete mistake for me, I completely goofed. No, none of that. It's more like, I hate this place over here, I hate math class, I hate the stress I'm under and the anxiety I'm under, and I'll do almost anything to not do this anymore.
And then you're going to find somebody on the internet that tells you, man, welders make $800,000 a year, and you could, you know what I mean? Like at some point, Dave's exactly right. You're running from a problem, not towards what you really want to do.
That.
Yeah, I think you need to figure out what you can run to before you run. I'm okay with you quitting college.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I'm okay with you changing majors, and I'm okay with you working 50 hours a week and paying your way the rest of the way through if you want to do that and change to engineering or probably more math there. But anyway, but I want you to have something you're going to rather than just from.
Go meet with the College Counseling Center. You've paid into it, and they're there for this exact purpose.
See if they can help you guide you through this. Hang on, I'm going to send you a copy of Ken Coleman's career assessment, and maybe that'll give you some insights too.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Lisa's with us. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, Dave. It's so great to see you. Hi, John. So great to see you. I'm so thankful to be here.
Well, we're honored to have you. Where do you live?
I'm from Houston, Texas.
H-Town?
Yes, Texas.
Cool.
H-Town.
Well, good to have you. And how much debt have you paid off, girl?
Oh, Dave, $264,000 on a single income.
Wow.
And I waited 7 years to walk through your doors.
Wow. You've been working on this 7 years.
7 years.
And what was your range of income during this 7 years?
I'm a registered nurse, and it was between 83 and 93.
Good for you. Well done.
You've had a boring few years the last couple of years, huh?
It's been wild, let me tell you. Yes.
Thank you so much for
being on the front lines.
That's right. Filling that gap for all of us.
So, $264,000, was that your house?
Well, part of it was I did something kind of interesting. I sold my house at the end of my journey. I was maybe 2 to 3 months out. So about $164,000 was just the regular, credit cards, cars, and of course, Dave, I had some payday loans, but about 102 was my house, and I decided to go ahead and sell it towards the end of the journey because I knew it would accelerate my journey, and I would be able to have my 6-month emergency fund, and I would be able to start my 15% investing and that kind of thing. So I sold it towards the end when the real estate market was really booming in Houston.
Wow.
And it ended up being a fantastic decision for me. And I'm so happy, Dave. I cannot even find anybody that I have to pay. I am so thankful.
Good for you.
I am so thankful. And
You're so free.
It is just the best feeling in the world. And yes, it was a lot of work. And yes, there were some things that happened on the journey that I wanted to share with you that I think even a lot of your listeners will be able to appreciate. And I had decided that all the way through this journey that I was going to keep God first. And in the journey, I would budget grocery money. I would take it right out of my budget, and I would go down into the 3rd Ward of Houston, and I would find families that were in desperate need of food. Throughout this whole journey, I did this, and I would go door to door to families down there, and I would feed them. And I believed that God delivered me out of this huge mess, this huge hardship, because I honored him, and I did what the Word of God says in giving. And the other thing that I want to share with you is right when I had my right when I was just about ready to get out of debt, I had a AC company come in and let me know that I had to have the whole AC replaced. So I was just about ready to land the plane, just about ready to become debt free. And I got handed a $10,000 AC bill. And I just stood in my kitchen and I looked at it and I thought, what would Dave do in this situation? And the solution was just to tack it like every other bill, every other debt. And I learned from it, when you have a setback, don't step back, because God has your comeback on the way.
Wow, that'll preach. Good for you, girl. Good for you. Very well done. Very well done. Now that you did this, what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
The first thing I would say to him is to get organized. The first thing I would say to him is to get organized. And that's what I did. I organized my debt, smallest to largest, as you teach. But the other thing I would say to him is, on the journey, there are setbacks, there are hardships, like what happened with an AC unit. And to not get discouraged, to keep pushing, keep going. And I also feel like giving in the journey is critical. I do believe that God delivered me out of this mess when I was helping the poor.
Yeah.
And I believe that you've done such a great job teaching us the Word of God in your work. And I listened to you also. Another thing I did was I listened to your podcast an hour going into work and an hour coming out of work for a long, long time. And I read the Total Money Makeover twice. So I just made sure that I was educating myself with everything that...
You're a force of nature, girl. I mean, there's no question. You are getting after it. Yes, definitely God delivered you and God blessed you. But what he did was he multiplied your efforts, and you put forth an extreme amounts of effort. And, you weren't sitting at home waiting on roast duck to fly in the window. You went duck shooting. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you
very
so
well
much.
done. Very cool. Yeah, I suspect anything you set your hand to is going to occur. Yeah, it's very, very well done. Good stuff.
Yeah. I'm proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, John.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you so much. And the work that you do and together the team that you have I just celebrate the victory, Dave, with you and all of your team, because your hard work is what's educating the public to become debt-free and to live a life of freedom and happiness. I'm so happy now. And when I walk through those doors, I waited 7 years to thank you.
Wow.
And I'm thanking you now.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
you're
thank you.
inspiring. You're inspiring. I'm so proud of you. Very, very well done. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, if somebody asks how you get out of debt, what do you tell them?
The very first thing I'm going to tell them is to put God first in their finances.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to share with them is
You said be organized a while ago,
yes,
right?
be organized.
Have that, yeah.
And to really follow your steps because they work.
Mhm.
And I also know that in the journey that they not get discouraged. And I was on a long journey. I wasn't on a 2 or 3 year journey. I was on a long one because it was a lot of money for one income. But I'm so thankful now that I did it. I'm so grateful to you for educating me. And it's so great to finally meet my mentor.
Oh, bless your heart. Who was your biggest cheerleader?
I think you.
No, I'm talking about in your life, personally.
Sitting right next to me, my sister-in-law, Carol.
Oh, go Carol.
Yes.
All right.
And
Go, Carol.
My brother, Mike, who's a phenomenal money manager, and my nephew, Dean, that is an even more phenomenal money manager.
Wow,
So
you got good people in your corner.
very much.
Good stuff. Well, we got a copy of every Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure. The book comes out January the 11th. We're going to give you a copy today, an advanced reader copy, and also a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away and get someone else started on their journey. I got a feeling that you will be discussing this with someone. It sounds like that's the way that goes. So I'm so proud of you. Way to go, hero. You killed it. Absolutely
Thank you so
awesome.
much.
Lisa is in Houston, Texas. $264,000 paid off in 7 years, making 83 to 93. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. May the glory go to God. I'm debt-free.
Yeah!
So great.
You can never mess up feeding the poor.
Nope.
You can never mess up feeding hungry children.
Nope.
It's there's never a time you look back and go, oh, well, that was a mistake.
Shouldn't have done that one.
That one doesn't come up. That doesn't come up. And it turns loose things in your spirit. Generosity is an amazing thing. It causes people to be highly attractive. Generous people are highly attractive.
And grateful people. She's one of the most grateful people I've had an opportunity to meet this week.
Yes. Amen. Good
Just
stuff.
grateful.
Way to go, Lisa. You're a hero. Very, very well done. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. Bill Bradley said, leadership is unlocking people's potential to become better. John's with us in Boulder, Colorado. Hi, John. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, David, John. Thank you for the time today.
Sure.
I got a question that might be covered in your upcoming book. I already pre-ordered it, but I figured I'd try to get in early. I have a question that regards two of your favorites, math and multiple choice, regarding employee stock purchase and RSUs. I'm on baby steps 4, 5, 6, and really trying to get it done. I think I can reach step 7 by 2026. You know this part, but my employer, Apple, offers employee stock purchase that I can buy into for 2 periods for 15% discount on the stock from the lowest of either the start or end of the period. I'm doing 10% of my gross salary using that post-tax money. So in a year, I'm putting roughly $13,000 into this ESPP. If I go and buy that stock at the lowest from the start of this period, that'd be about 105 shares, which would turn the 13,000 into about 18,000. The multiple choice portion of it is, would I A, sell immediately, pay no short-term taxes on the gain, B, sell in a year with long-term taxes, C, an arbitrary date, or D, not do ESPP altogether and just chunk it towards my mortgage.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, to start with, you need to be doing 15% of your income towards retirement, not counting this discussion, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And so this is play money beyond that, and the only downside is, do we put it on the stock and mess with it, or do we put it into the house and pay the house down?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. In general, I mean, you mentioned the company, so that does change the discussion slightly because Apple's track record is unbelievable. But the 99% of the time, just about any other company you mentioned, and I don't think it's true of Apple, but it could be. If you look at a 52-week high and a 52-week low of a single stock, almost always there's a 15% movement up and down. And so a 15% discount is what everyone gets on their company when they're doing an employee stock purchase. That's standard, okay? Everybody gets it. Yeah. It's not unique to your company. And so my point is, you could buy something and it could drop 15% as easy as it goes up 15% in 1 year. And so the 15% discount does not make it a great buy in 99% of the cases. Now, Apple pretty much has gone up and to the right, so might be an exception. I don't know. If you're going to play with this because it's Apple, you're not going to do it because it's 15% discounted. You're going to do it because it's Apple and because of the track record and the history of it being up and to the right. The second thing you want to do is, if you're going to be in any single stock, I would not ever have more than 10% of your net worth tied up in that. Right. That way, if the whole thing goes completely belly up, for whatever reason.
My mom worked at Enron.
It does. Yeah, there you go. It doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Because there is no sure thing. And so the lack of diversification, even if it's in the best company of whatever of best companies, and they have more money than the country of Egypt, which is actually true. So, then, even if that's the case, you still don't want to bet much more than 10% of your net worth on there. So if you want to play with this because you're enamored with it, don't let it be more than 10% of your net worth. Personally, I have not followed that direction. My personal path and what I've taught and what you hear me answer the question over and over again is, no, don't do employee stock until you get your house paid off and put everything towards your house above 15% of your income going into retirement. And that's the standard Ramsey way of doing things, and that works 100% of the time. This could work, and you could make some money on it in the future. I would not hold it less than a year. If you're going to hold it less than a year, I just wouldn't screw with it. But if you're going to hold it long term, don't allow that account to end up being more than 10% of your net worth, and don't hitch your wagon to a single stock, because that's always going to bring back pain into your life later at some point. Gets scary. Elizabeth's in Louisville, Kentucky. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. I have a twofold question for you fellas today, if you don't mind. I'll try to make it quick.
Okay.
My family has had 2 major life changes. I have a family member that cannot eat or process nutrition, so she's on vein nutrition, which is $10,000 a bag. My dad had a major stroke and is looking at nursing home placement and has no long-term care insurance. I know the answer. That would be one of the answers, is long-term care insurance. But I'm also have a dilemma in the way I'm feeling. They're getting the same care, paying thousands upon thousands, $13,000 a month out of pocket, and the person down the hall is paying nothing. So as a Christian, and because I trust what you have to say, how should I feel about that? Or do you have any advice for me on how I should process through that?
Well, I pay millions of dollars in taxes, and the person on welfare doesn't.
And I pay less than Dave, and we share the same road and the same police officers.
True.
The person down the person that's in a nursing home on Medicaid, Medicare, it's Medicare or Medicaid is that's welfare.
Yeah.
That's welfare. You have to be indigent. You have to be poor. If you have assets to pay for your nursing home, the government will not pay for your nursing home because you're not poor.
Yeah, I know. It's sad that they could take everything, though.
No, they're not taking everything any more than a restaurant takes everything if you go over there and buy food at the restaurant.
Yeah.
They're providing a service and you're paying them for it. They're not robbing him.
I still feel bad.
They're not robbing him. He has worked his whole life to be cared for and taken care of, and his assets will provide that care for him. And it's not, who they're taking from is you, because you're not going to get the inheritance. Because he's going to spend it on himself before he dies.
Yeah, and my mom is in good health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, but
yeah.
But the truth is, I mean, So what I'm going to do is shop the nursing home experience, get the best care for the least dollar, like we would with anything that we purchase, and not just assume that. But the person down the hall that's on welfare doesn't affect whether I go get a job.
No. And I'm not going to give them access to the last few remaining years I have with my dad. I'm not going to choose bitterness and choose anger and choose resentment. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give that away to somebody I don't know. I don't know their their circumstances, their story. I don't know anything about what's going on there. I'm going to be grateful that my dad was so good with his money that he can pay for his care right now, even though it's liquidating. It's going fast, right? But he worked hard. He's taking care of it, and I'm going to enjoy the time with him.
Well, what I am going to do is negotiate and manage every bit of this money. You're purchasing a service, just like you're having a car repaired or I don't know, anything you pay for a service, you pay for the service. And nursing home care is a legitimate service. They're not robber barons. They're not stealing. They're not making you do this. And you may choose, depending on what his needs are with the stroke, you may choose to hire private care in-home. It might be cheaper. And it might be higher quality care if you've got that ability. It requires some more management maybe on your part because you've got to manage the people involved. But you can look at that as an option too, and find different ways to do this. Because if it's $13,000 a month, that's not shouldn't be that much.
Yeah, that's high care.
So it's nursing home evokes a different place in us to where people feel that like they're being stolen from, and you're not.
And often our own grief and pain, we look around for somebody around us to cast that upon. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Don't do that. Yeah. Sit in it and choose joy.
Yeah. Thanks for calling, hon. I'm sorry you guys are going through this.
It's hard.
Dr. John Deloney, good show today. Good job to Ben and Kelly in the booth. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.